I think, first of all, we have to remember that it is Congress's responsibility to write the checks. So no matter what we say about the president or about others, it is Congress's constitutional responsibility to write the checks. So Congress needs to bring the spending in line. The first thing that I am going to do is help to lead the fight in legislation to get a balanced budget amendment on the table. We need that, desperately need that. Congress has to disappropriate or appropriate less money. So we need to bring the purse strings back and the responsibility back to Congress where it is. And then we need to look over each of those items, take out the pork, and that will reduce spending greatly overnight.
There's a lot of issues for people who live in Harlem about not affording rent and being kicked out of their apartment, and this whole new people moving in and older people being kicked out. What would you do about this issue?
First of all, you know, the first thing that I think we can do is have Mr. Rangel leave his 4 rent-controlled apartments. That would send a message. That would send a message to everyone that everyone must be treated fairly and equally. The first thing that you have to do is you have to bring entrepreneurs to the table. Bureaucrats cannot plan anything. You know, believe it or not, there are private dollars. There are people in America that are willing to still invest in America. We need to bring them back to the table because, frankly, that they're afraid because every time someone wants to invest in America, the government steps in for their cut. So we need to get the government out, get private enterprise back to the table, and we can actually reduce the cost of doing business. Once we reduce the cost of doing business, jobs will come back to America.
All right, thank you, Michael. Let's go to a wet question. Yes or no? Do you believe in term limits?
Yes. Concerning the unions and the federal government are the 2 biggest inhibitors right now that we have to jobs and economic growth in our country right now. Understand also that the way that the system is set up right now for elections, most politicians depend on union money for their candidacy. I have not received any union money, and I will not receive any union money, okay? I have not.
I'd like to know what program each one of you would be your favorite to cut if you were elected.
Tort reform and some of the environmental regulations that are hindering businesses and creating unbelievable costs.
Okay, gentlemen, what committee do you need to be on, and how would you actually get something done in the cesspool of Washington?
Obviously, the Ways and Means Committee would be very nice, and the way to get things done in Washington, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have a clue. Except to be honest and to be the person that I am. I don't know. I know the way Washington works from the outside as I look at it as a citizen, but I don't know the inner workings and the backroom deals and all the stuff that's being done. But you have my promise, when something is running afoul, I will say it. I will say this is wrong, and you will hear, the people in New York will hear what is going on in Washington. That is my responsibility as the representative, but in terms of what committee and actually how I'm going to do it, I've never been a part of that body, and so I don't know the inner workings of that body per se.
Okay, and you know what, that's an honest answer. And I'm going to give you credit for that one, a little extra credit. You get a gold star. Let's take...
I absolutely oppose card check. It's un-American. I understand what you're saying because my church had to pay some of those same fines. My church, supposed to be tax exempt, we had to pay some of those same silly fines. You change the laws. You change the tax law. Those laws are against small businesses. They hinder small businesses. We need a contract with small businesses because 80% of all employment in this country right now comes from small businesses, the ones that are being hurt by the kind of legislation that you're talking about. And frankly, we need to eradicate it to bring jobs back to our community. Hi, I'm Michel Faulkner, and as you know, I'm running for Congress against 40-year incumbent Charles Rangel. I need your help. Please go to FaulknerForCongress.com and donate right now. No gift is too small. We appreciate everything that you can do. We are in a battle, a grassroots campaign that is going to win. We need your help right now. FaulknerForCongress.com or RetireRangel.com. Help right now, please.